I am Shanna, and this is The Soul Frequency, where freedom, love, purpose, and mission grow. Let's go. Hello. We are going to be talking about life-changing experiences. Have you recently been through a life-changing experience? I have. I think a lot of people have over the past 2 years. One of the things that's rising to the surface right now is, how do we evolve? How do we allow ourselves to evolve? And I'll share a little bit about my story in a minute, but sometimes we don't allow ourselves to evolve, right? Sometimes we are stuck in certain ways of being or seeing things. And let's face it, this transformation we're all in here on planet Earth is moving fast, really fast. And so sometimes we have our lives shaken up by events that get us to wake up to another level. And this is going to be a little bit more of a personal video. I'm going to share my experience, a little bit of something that happened and the lessons that I took from it, because everything that we go through in life, everything you're going through in life is here to teach us something, here to wake us up, grow us, have us feel things we've never felt before, have us see our life in a new way. And I am a part of that just as much as you are a part of that. So right around New Year's, a couple days before 2022, I had a fluke thing happen to me that caused me to get very, very sick. Over a couple day period, I was not able to eat. I was not able to sleep. I had a number of things going on in my body, kind of out of nowhere, what felt like out of nowhere. And of course, I'm armed with all the supplements and healthy things that I can do for my body, but I wasn't able to put anything in my body. So I had to surrender, right, to the fact that I wasn't going to be able to fix this by myself, which was the first lesson in my journey, is surrender and breathe. I really just had to say, okay, I need to ask for help. And asking for help hasn't always been the easiest thing for me. Maybe it's not the easiest thing for you, but I knew that I needed to ask for help. And so I reached out to several of my friends and colleagues just to kind of tell them where I was, what was going on in my life, definitely talking with my family about that. And a number of them were like, definitely go get help. So I ended up in the emergency room, and then I ended up in the hospital for a few days. And for me, it was this experience of receiving help, right, for something I couldn't figure out on my own. And being an intuitive and psychic, like, I can figure a lot of things out on my own. I see a lot of things, right? I figure a lot of things out for other people. But in that moment, I needed to learn to surrender and to be able to receive. And so for a couple of days, I did nothing but really sleep and receive. There was this beautiful photo on the wall, photo, picture, painting, whatever, on the wall that was framed. And it was a bird standing in a lake. And the way that the picture was positioned, you could see the reflection of the bird in the lake. And as I was sitting there, that didn't fall short on me. I felt like, wow, this is a time of reflection. I'm here to reflect. And while it wasn't the way I would want to end up at reflection, I was well aware of the spiritual gifts that were going on at this time, as well as what my body was going through, the healing and the resting and the care that I was receiving and all of that. And I had a couple really powerful spiritual experiences, like, well, I was resting and receiving. And it also didn't fall short on me that this was the beginning of the new year. So we were moving into 2022, which is a really powerful activation of the feminine vibration of partnership and connection, and divine feminine is all about the number 2. And I needed to rest, right? And reflect. And I needed to reset my energy to move into the energy of this year. Now, I could have had another perception, which was, what in the heck is happening to me? Why am I going through this? This is awful and terrible. And those things and feelings are normal. But I chose to see the higher road, right? Of like, what is this teaching me? Where am I going? What do I need to learn in this moment? What am I being called up to within myself? And it's interesting because I've had several clients and friends and people that have gone through incidences like leading up to 2022 that kind of shook them up a little bit, or they got sick, or something of that nature that had them stop and reflect and look at their lives. And for me personally, I decided to make some changes while I was resting and sleeping and re-energizing my body and healing. And I'll share what some of those changes are, because maybe you're at a point in your life where you want to be looking at some changes. I decided that the last year of my life had a lot of movement in it, right? A lot of probably masculine energy of action and movement and going and all of these things. And I decided to honor the 222 in this year and to really kind of downshift, right? Like the energy that I am showing up with, what I'm putting out there, and to simplify my life. So I began with really simple things like unsubscribing from hundreds of emails that I don't, need to be receiving, that have just happened over the years. We have those busy inboxes. I started to choose to make my food at home rather than, let's say, eating out or getting food. I've had food delivered before to my house, like healthy foods, but still coming from somewhere else. I really felt this call to nourish my body from as pure of a place as possible. I also felt called to work in some more of different types of things that I haven't eaten. So this year to me is really about balance. And there were areas of like what I nourished myself with where there were holes, right, in my diet, that I just was eating more of this and less of that. And so I decided to just be really conscious that I am always changing what I eat. I also have a really bad habit of eating like the same things all the time. I don't know if you guys do this, but I'll get on a kick with something and I'll eat that like all the time, right? So instead it's like, no, balance, rotation, right? You know how we rotate crops and how we eat different things in different seasons, if we were eating by the season, that is probably really healthy, right? Variety for building your body and building your health. And so I started to do that. And immediately I felt like my body was responding to that. Like it was really happy to have more balance and to have more variety. And that required me to make some more space and time, right? For those things, for that self-nourishment and for connecting with myself, and more space in my schedule and space in my life to just be, right? So often we feel like we have to always be doing something. And this year is really about moving into that feminine flow, right? Like allowing yourself to be until you feel inspired to do. But it's okay to be in that being stage for as long as you need to be there. So those are a couple of things that I took forward. Also, how I spend my time with my family, really savoring every moment, really deciding what are the things that I truly want to be doing and what do I not want to be doing anymore? Because sometimes we forget to reevaluate that. We're just so busy going. We don't stop and say, yeah, this was fine 2 years ago, but maybe today I don't want this in my life. And so those are some of the lessons that I gleaned from my experience. I feel like the experience was a gift, although extremely difficult. Sometimes we come into this life experience to wake ourselves up, going through all kinds of experiences that are really challenging. But if we always look to like, what am I supposed to take from this? What can I learn from this, right? What did my soul come here to teach me in this lifetime from this experience? Then we open up, right, our vantage point to be able to see so much more about what that experience was in your life. So if you are in big experiences, moving through, right, like things happening to you, things happening around you, just know that you are not alone. I'm right there with you. There are a lot of people that are right there with you. And it's all moving us to a higher place of understanding ourselves better, understanding our priorities, really being aligned with what feels good and right, nourishing to our mind, body, and spirit. And it's an incredible, incredible journey.